The Škoda Elroq arrived on our roads last year, positioned as a compact, more affordable electric alternative to the ICE-powered Karoq. The goal here is pretty simple: offer an electric SUV that feels familiar to existing Škoda buyers while bringing EV pricing closer to its combustion engine counterparts. So how much is it? Well, prices start from £33,560, which is actually quite competitive for a mid-size electric SUV. And buyers can choose between a 59 kilowatt-hour or 77 kilowatt-hour battery pack on most trims. The entry-level SEL and mid-range sport line can be paired with either battery, while the vRS, which is the one we have here, only comes with the larger pack. What do you think? I have to say, it's quite an attractive thing, isn't it? Especially in vRS trim with its 20-inch black alloy wheels, sportier bumpers and matte grey paintwork, although that does cost you another £1,600, and our test car also has the Max package for another £1,100. So by the time you add everything up, you're getting very close to £50,000. Would I personally pay that for a Škoda? Probably not. Which actually makes the SEL 60 the strongest model in the lineup and one of the most affordable EVs actually, when you factor in battery size and the standard equipment, which is impressively generous. The Elroq sits on Volkswagen Group's MEB platform, the same architecture used by the Volkswagen ID family and Audi Q4 e-tron. But what's interesting is that the Elroq is the first production model to introduce Škoda's new modern solid design language, a look that basically focuses on simplicity, robustness and cleaner lines. And I think it works really well. It's conservative, yes, but it's also quite handsome. Up front, the traditional grille has been replaced by what Škoda calls the tech deck face, a gloss black panel that cleverly hides sensors, radar and lighting elements for the car's driver assistance systems. You'll also notice the Škoda lettering on the bonnet replacing the traditional badge, and the familiar four eyes headlight graphic has been completely reinterpreted with a more modern LED setup. There's also a sustainability angle here. Even the dark chrome trim uses a more environmentally friendly process compared to traditional chrome plating, which is a small but interesting step towards reducing manufacturing impact. Aerodynamics has clearly been a focus too. The Elroq has a drag coefficient of around 0.26, which is pretty good for a car of this segment, helping to maximise efficiency and extend driving range. Inside, it's surprisingly spacious. There's genuinely enough room for 3 adults in the back. There is over 48 litres of storage dotted around the cabin, and the boot is another highlight with 470 litres of capacity, expanding to 1,580 with the seats folded flat. It's amongst the largest in class, you know. There are some lovely practical details too. For example, the storage net underneath the parcel shelf for your charging cable is genuinely useful. Even the parcel shelf is height adjustable, so parents could tuck a buggy underneath and stack shopping on top. Although, I should warn you, it only supports 3 kilograms of weight, which is enough for 1 large watermelon, around about 25 medium apples, and possibly a newborn baby. I'm joking, of course. The interior design itself is quite clean and classy, the vRS especially, with these sporty seats and black Alcantara and leather trim, which isn't genuine, by the way. It's made from recycled plastics, obviously. And it contrasts beautifully with this kind of lime green, or should I say moss green, stitching and piping. It just adds a bit of character, you know. And then you've got these classic Škoda touches, like the umbrella hidden inside the driver's door, or should that be Rolls-Royce, and the ice scraper tucked into the tailgate. Rear passengers are well looked after too, with extra storage pockets, this storage tray here in the middle, which can be removed so that the middle passenger has more legroom, cup holders integrated into the armrest, and these manual sunblinds, which the kids absolutely loved. They haven't even seen the umbrella yet. That would blow their little minds. Tech-wise, the centrepiece is the 13-inch infotainment display, which now runs updated software with a clearer menu structure and improved navigation. You can pin up to 5 vehicle shortcuts and 4 app shortcuts, while the top bar provides quick access to things like battery preconditioning, intelligent speed assist and seat heating. And thankfully, Škoda has kept a physical button strip underneath for quick access to things like driver assistance settings, climate controls, parking functions, and driving modes. The vRS model also gets an augmented reality head-up display, which overlays navigation directions and driver assistance alerts directly into your field of vision. So if a car moves into your lane on the motorway, for example, a dynamic arrow appears above it, and approaching corners are highlighted with large directional chevrons. It's actually quite clever, though I will admit it did take a little bit of time to get used to. They are somewhat in your face. Overall, the cabin feels tasteful, practical, and certainly more characterful than many other Volkswagen Group interiors. Now let's talk performance. The Škoda vRS uses a dual motor setup providing 355 brake horsepower, giving it a 0 to 62 time of 5.4 seconds, making it the fastest accelerating production Škoda ever built. And on the road, the performance feels strong, but it's very much focused on effortless straight line pace rather than outright sportiness, which may disappoint fans of the sub-brand. But it is extremely capable. The vRS uses dedicated sport suspension, which lowers the front by 15mm and the rear by 10mm. And with wide tyres and all-wheel drive, it does carry the speed confidently through the corners and feels very planted. But it's just not quite as playful as you'd expect from a performance-branded EV, you know? The dynamic chassis control system, which is unique to this car, offers 15 different settings, allowing for further customization. In my experience, the sweet spot was actually just a bit firmer than the standard setting because it kept body control in check without sacrificing comfort. The steering has also been tuned specifically for the vRS. It's nicely weighted and precise, giving you confidence when tackling a good series of bends with oomph. Braking is handled through adjustable regenerative paddles behind the steering wheel, offering 3 different levels of recuperation. There's also a B mode on the gear selector for stronger regen, plus an adaptive regeneration mode that automatically adjusts deceleration depending on traffic and road conditions. One thing worth mentioning, the car won't come to a complete stop without using regen alone. Some people see that as a drawback, but it's actually a deliberate decision by Volkswagen Group to keep the driving experience closer to a conventional car. And honestly, I prefer that. As previously mentioned, the vRS comes with the 84 kilowatt-hour battery pack, which is good for an official range of 340 miles. However, over my week with it, I was seeing around about 250. I did, on one trip, manage to get from my home near Tunbridge Wells to a car launch in the Surrey Hills, then down to Southsea to catch the hovercraft to the Isle of Wight, back home again, and several school runs, and I still had 26 miles to play with. So if that's worst case scenario, then I think you'll be good. Charging peaks at 185 kilowatts, so a charge of 10 to 80% will take you around 26 minutes. While at home on an 11 kilowatt charger, you're looking at around 8 hours for an overnight charge. As Škoda's first fully electric compact SUV, it offers a wide choice of battery sizes, a comfortable and spacious interior with lots of clever practical storage solutions, and a driving experience that feels very easy and approachable. I think to sum up, it's handsome, well-equipped, efficient and comfortable. And for many buyers, it could represent a genuinely accessible step into electric motoring.